Hey guys, Dr. Mo here, and welcome back to the channel. You know, social media is a good thing in many, many ways. It can be used to connect people that haven't seen each other for a very long time. It's used to access resources that ordinarily we would have to go to the library or to the organization and gather. It's also used to connect people with similar interests together. It also can be used as a weapon. And many times we are unaware that social media, when it's used excessively or inappropriately, it has a devastating effect on our children. Today, we're going to take a look at a video about social media and how it impacts our youth and their mental health. Guys, this is something that we have to get a better handle on. I'm going to give you my feedback as we look at this video. I see it a lot in practice, and I know that it's a huge, huge problem, not only for children, but for adults as well. Let's take a look at this video and provide me with your feedback and how do you feel about this at the end of this video. Let's get into it.
For decades, there's been that Surgeon General's warning on packs of cigarettes. But this morning, for the first time, a new warning about something else, social media and what it means for kids' mental health. Why now for this advisory?
We're issuing this advisory to sound the alarm.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says there's not enough evidence to show social media platforms are safe enough for kids and teens.
We see rates of depression and anxiety and suicide and loneliness going up among young people. And I'm concerned that social media is an important driver of that youth mental health crisis. This is the defining public health issue of our time.
Guys, there you hear it. I mean, depression and anxiety resulting from social media. This thing is here, and it has been used many times to parent our children because we give them a device and we tell them to, go do their thing so we can do whatever we'd like to. Or we are unaware of how much they're using those devices to access social media. Guys, this is not a you and I thing. This is a collective community and social issue that we got to get a better handle on. Let's keep watching.
Mental health.
Research shows 95% of teens are on social media. More than a third say they're on constantly. And teens spend an average of 3.5 hours each day on these kinds of apps, something research shows can double the risk of experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety.
The other day, my daughter came up to my wife and I and asked us if she could post a picture on social media.
How old is she?
My daughter is 5 years old. She's actually in preschool, but she's been hearing about this from her friends.
All of the big platforms require users to be at least 13 years old to create accounts, but nearly 40% of kids ages 8 to 12 say they've used social media too.
See, guys, here we have it. We see a whole lot of children that are less than 13 that are actually online. They're accessing the internet, they're accessing social media, and it's really sad to say, but I guarantee you there's a lot of parents that are okay with it and have created fraudulent accounts for these children. It's not okay for us to do this, guys. So if you know someone that are actually doing these things and exposing our children too young, too early, have a conversation with them, because again, this could lead to mental health issues for that child, not to mention expose them to adults and predators that are out there preying on our children. Let's get back to it.
Expert Max Stossel sees it in the conversations he's had in the past 6 years with more than 100,000 students, parents, and teachers.
When I started doing this work, I was getting the question, is 16 too young to give my kid a smartphone? Now I'm getting the question, is like 3rd grade too young to give my kid a smartphone?
Stossel recommends 14, but ultimately the right age may be different for different families.
You are almost certain to get pushback from tech companies who say they're trying to protect kids. They have age limits in place.
I appreciate that the technology companies have taken some steps to try to keep kids safe, but it hasn't been nearly enough.
The Surgeon General thinks Congress can and should do more to regulate social media companies, the same way safety standards are in place for car seats, for example. And at home, the advisory recommends creating a family media plan together, implementing tech-free zones like at mealtimes, and partnering with other parents with similar philosophies for support.
Guys, this is huge also because you think about it. Yes, I agree tech companies should be held responsible, but I also think that Parents are equally as responsible for their children and knowing exactly what they're doing and how much social media they are accessing. It's not all the tech companies' responsibility when in actuality we have our children in our homes and we're paying for these devices that they're using. So we have to do a better job at watching them. That's just my personal opinion. You guys let me know what you think.
What's at stake here is our kids and their future. Plain and simple.
Here's the thing. The Surgeon General's advisory acknowledges there are good things about teens being on social media. The ability to connect, to have friendships, to find support. We've reached out to the big social media platforms on this, waiting to hear back, but many of them have put some safety precautions in place. Meta, for example, prompts teens to take breaks and has a family center and guides to help people use the platform. It really is a debate for each family. If you're wondering, okay, what is the Surgeon General doing? He tells me that he and his wife plan to wait until their kids are out of middle school to get on those apps. Savannah.
It really is the issue of our time. When you think about the Surgeon General and the warning about smoking in the 80s, and this, there's a thread here about a great public health issue that the Surgeon General is weighing in on that we all need to pay attention to. Holly, thank you.
Okay, guys, you've seen the video. And personally, one of those things I think was a highlight for this video was the fact that the recommendation is that you remove technology. You have technology-free zones or times in your day. I think that would be huge if we were able to just remove all technology, and not just for our children, for adults as well, because many of the adults are equally as addicted to social media as the children. If we remove the technology and we get back to the basics of human interaction, I think that our children, or the children we have control over, will be well-rounded and less dependent on social media. They will possibly also use social media as a tool and not as their life. Let me know what you guys, until next time.